So it's kind of late in the evening. I just got done working on the P42. Slowly problem solving my way through it. We got a new wood chipper Chelsea got for 80 bucks at a yard sale. We've been itching to try out. We've got a dead tree that needs to come down. And I've got a little bit of motivation left for this evening to go ahead and start that process. Project, whatever. We're on 372 today. Tree is not that big, but you know, you got to stretch your legs every now and then because we've got a milling project coming up. And yes, I am wearing shorts under my chainsaw pants. Why? Well, it's hot and ventilation never hurt anybody. So here's your frame of reference. We've got the garden over here. Pole barn, poplar. You can see it's a double. Just kind of shot off. The main tree itself is doing fine. But the little double that shot off is not doing as fine. You can see here. It wants to come this way just a little bit. We're going to try to go right in this hole right here best we can. So the goal is to get this down. Use the new wood chipper, chip up all the other stuff. Make some chips for the garden over here. And then hopefully we can find enough good wood in here. We can actually make a bench, kind of rip up a little rustic bench right here next to the garden.
I know a lot of people will ask, so I figure I'll just go ahead and explain it. The reason I'm cutting so high is because of that large dead spot down below. I'm trying to get up above that dead spot into a little bit better wood. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm just a homeowner that cuts trees from time to time, but normally when I have a tree that leans like this, I like to do the face cut. Then I like to come through with the bore cut, come out of that bore cut, and come back around the back side from the outside. Leave about 2 or 3 inches, call it the trigger, hit that, and let it go. I was pretty frustrated because the saw wasn't running very well, and I'm the one that tuned it last, so I have nobody to blame but myself. And I got a little bit impatient and decided to try to just go ahead and come all the way out the backside, and that didn't really work for me.
Shouldn't take much here. There it goes. Easy peasy. Nothing hanging, looks good.
Now, just recently, and by recently I mean over the winter, I just kind of started learning and teaching myself how to tune saws and get things running the way they should be, using a tachometer and how to look up the RPM specs and where it should be on the low side and the high side. Now, like I said, I tuned this in the winter, so I'm wondering if it's just because the temperature difference, that's why it's running differently now than what it was then. I'm not 100% sure. But I took the time, I got it dialed back in, and it was running way better. And yep, that's going to generate some comments, you know, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Don't forget to wear your chainsaw pants. But she's running good now.
So we're off to a little bit of a rough start with all that being said. But hey, there's a wood chipper, so we got that to look forward to. And then we're going to run their little 40 volt Ryobi saw today for those little bitty limbs, because I'm assuming we'll have to trim up some of those limbs to get in the wood chipper. And this is what these little cordless saws are perfect for. 110% every time. And I'm not gonna get too crazy, but we'll touch these a little bit. This is a white chipper, 5 horsepower. I'm not 100% sure how this thing works. Well, I got this part of it, but this part of it, I'm assuming this is for larger diameter stuff. It doesn't have a size, so We'll go with the old if it fits it ships policy. And on this side it says 1/2 inch diameter into this side. I guess they slide under there. Make sure it's got some of this stuff here. It does. We'll add a little bit of this. What kind of, what was that? The rattling here, it's gonna send me over the edge. We've got to, I know that's ridiculous, but we've got to do something about that. Okay. Pull that on through. Whatever. all in all, not too bad for 85 bucks. I think I'm going to do some research, see if I can't find maybe a new set of knives, or if I can even just sharpen the knives that are on here. But I think it's worth going through. He did his own little offshoot thing here, and I'm not 100% sure I like the way it comes out of there. And we've got some rust starting to take hold right here. But I think it's running good enough, in good enough shape. For 85 bucks, a little bit more money, we can really fix this up and make it something nice. So I think it's worth hanging on to. So the next step, now that we have that kind of cleaned up a little bit, we're going to see if we can hunt through the rest of that poplar tree and find enough to make a real simple kind of rustic bench over there that, you know, we can sit and enjoy the garden, or sit and enjoy a cold snack while we're working on the garden. That kind of thing. What an awkward way to put gas in, but here we go. And I'm just kind of really in a mood to get it done and not do a whole lot of narration and talking and all that weird, awkward stuff that people feel compelled to do sometimes. So I'm going to turn the microphone off. We're just going to work, and hopefully the camera angles and the work itself tell the story that needs to be told.
So this is what we ended up with. It's a couple hours later. Sun's coming down. We went down, did some swimming in the pond afterwards. It was just nice. It was hot today, but nice having the pond there. Turned out pretty good. Not bad for a little bench. We're gonna let the wood kind of air dry out a little bit. Then as it dries, that bark will peel a little bit easier. And we'll take some of that Australian timber oil and we'll timber oil that whole thing to try to get a little bit more life out of it. And we're gonna get some rocks up underneath each one of those legs to try to get a little bit more life out of that. It's only poplar, so it's not like it's gonna last a crazy amount of time, but I bet we get 10 or 15 years out of it if we take care of it. Nice little bench overlooking the garden area. We eliminated the dead tree hazard. We utilized the new wood chipper to get a pile of chips that we can incorporate into the garden, which will be fantastic. And we utilized some of the timber from the tree we cut down to make a bench to enjoy the garden. And that's definitely maximizing the use out of a tree that you have to cut down. It needed to come down anyway. Like I said, it was just dead and dangerous. And you know, we got something out of it, so that's pretty cool. Long-term plan though, I'll tell you something I'm a huge fan of, I like doing. See this little poplar sprig coming out here? We will take this, and every year it grows, we'll tame this right down the backside of the bench. We'll slowly create this branch, this new sprig coming off, into this, and we'll make a living bench out of it. We've kind of started doing that on some other trees. It's a slow process, but it's a cool process. That's it. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. We're not done swimming. I'm going back down to do some more swimming. I just had to come up to do an outro real quick, so. Okay.